Hello, my name is Stewart, and I am an art history major at USF with a minor in communications, going into my junior year in the fall. The music video that I selected is Dancing in the Courthouse by Dominic Fike, and it relates to Global Goal 16 in the sense that they both have themes of fighting injustice in the justice system and holding institutions accountable for the ways that they've contributed to injustices. So there is lots of imagery and symbolism in Dancing in the Courthouse, as Dominic Fike is seen physically dancing in a courthouse and in a jail, and there are images of mugshots and police vehicles. But most of the music video just shows people doing ordinary things and images that relate to childhood, and this kind of conveys how Dominic Fike has felt police authority as a background in his life throughout his whole life due to his race. The first term that I chose, which I felt like related to the music video and Global Goal 16, it was outgroups, which is defined on page 35. Outgroups can be defined as people who don't belong to the group that you're a part of. And the textbook kind of explained this, how if you were to go to a foreign country, the citizens there might see you as an outgroup member. During 1 minute and 4 seconds through 1 minute and 12 seconds of Dancing in the Courthouse, there's a scene where Dominic Fike is seen sunk at the bottom of a pool as professional swimmers swim laps behind him. And to me, this really communicates outgroups, because through the lyrical themes in his song, he explains how he feels like an outgroup due to his race in the political climate of America, and due to just being a mixed race person, not really identifying with either of his genetic backgrounds. But in this scene, the swimmers in the back represent the in-group, and Dominic Fike represents the out-group. The second term that I chose is collectivistic culture, which is found on page 44. And a collectivistic culture is a culture that prioritizes the good of the group, society, or family above someone's own personal needs and desires. And the textbook explained how there's a spectrum of individualistic cultures and collectivistic cultures, and how there are extreme sides to both of these, and a really extreme collectivistic culture would be something like North Korea. But both Global Goal 16 and Dancing in the Courthouse sort of encourage America to lean a bit more collective than it currently is, to advocate for those who are experiencing injustices, even if you personally aren't experiencing them or experiencing any effects from these injustices. So in 1 minute and 17 seconds through 1 minute and 28 seconds of Dancing in the Courthouse, there's a scene where a black female stripper is dancing for an elderly white man. And he hands her $1, and she lights it on fire, and they both sort of stare at the burning dollar in awe. And this is a really symbolic scene, as her lighting the dollar on fire symbolizes taking the power away from the exploitation of women. And by doing this, they're both losing something in the process. The woman, the stripper, is losing a profit, and the man is losing the sexual gratification that he came there for. But they're both doing this and allowing this to happen for the greater good of women collectively. And then the third key term that I chose was image, which is found on page 79. And image is basically just the way that you want other people to perceive you. And the way that this closely relates to both Global Goal 16 and Dancing in the Courthouse is because people who are experiencing injustices are dealing with a frustrating issue to where their desired image that they want to give off is not being seen due to people's internalized racism or misogyny or inclination to follow stereotypes. And in the music video, during 1:43 through 1:46, not a minute, 43 seconds through 46 seconds, a popsicle is melting in the sun and it drips onto Dominic Fike's forehead as he's laying on the ground eating a popsicle. And then the video gets a filter put over it, like an inverted colors kind of filter that suddenly makes it look like he has a gunshot wound to his head. And this sort of explains how no matter how Dominic Fike tries to portray himself, like as just an ordinary person doing wholesome activities, as a mixed race person, people still will associate him with things like violence and gun violence due to his race. And then there was another scene from 1:38 to 1:39 that I felt like really resonated with this term, where there's a pinwheel stuck in the grass, and then the camera zooms out and it's just a pinwheel in astroturf on a sidewalk. And this explains how institutions might make problems seem like they aren't as bad as they are, but if people are explaining that they are dealing with an injustice, you need to listen to them and advocate for them. And this activity reminded me about the importance of connecting the terms we would learn in this class to real-world experiences and using the knowledge that I learn to implement the course into my life. And by analyzing the music and imagery in this video, I learned that communication is not just about how you speak to others, it's also about how you perceive media, deeper meanings, and different social dynamics. And this also made me more aware of how media can shape and challenge different social issues, and how different groups are portrayed in society. But overall, this assignment helped me learn how communication theories are conveyed outside of the classroom and in the real world, in art and media and pop culture. Thank you.